Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 29th of December, 2022. I'm joined, as usual, by remote viewer and psychic medium, Liz Cross. How are we doing today, Liz?
Oh, I am so glad the cold for right now is over. Jesus, that was so bad. And I just, our doors were frozen. Thank God we didn't have to rush out anywhere because our doors were actually ice shut. Crazy.
Right. It's only a short question. This is only a short video. Geographical things, really. Going to start with Russia.
Okay.
So we need to grab Russia as a whole, please.
Okay.
And then we need to grab Odessa. So if you could put Russia out 1 year, please.
Okay, so put Russia out 1 year. So today is the 29th. We're almost at the end of the year. December 29th. Okay, great. So December 29th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What would you like to know?
Okay, as a result of the war with Ukraine, does Russia end up with Odessa?
As a result of the war with Ukraine,
has it ended up with Odessa?
Oh, thank you. Has it ended up with Odessa? No.
Is that by choice or because it couldn't, or it just didn't want? Why? What happened?
Why? What happened? It was by choice. I feel like this is part of the peace agreement. Yes, I feel like this is all part of the peace agreement. I don't know why Odessa is so important. I'm sure you're going to explain to us in a minute, but that's not really what they want. No. I think they thought they wanted it, but in the end, they really didn't. It's more trouble than what it's worth. Okay, what is that about, Mr. Shakespeare?
Well, Odessa is a port on the Black Sea, and of course, as they're going to end up with most of that province down there, some people are saying that, the fighting will end up and they will end up wanting and capturing Odessa. But I wasn't 100% sure, so that's why I asked for the probe. It's a port on the Black Sea. I mean, it's strategically it could be important to them. It's not that they absolutely need it, but it could be important.
Well, let's ask, is it important? Is the Odessa important? No, that I don't feel that it is as important to them as, people make it out to be.
Right. Okay.
I just feel like there's another area that is far more important.
Right.
Now, this is based upon today's timeline. And we're looking a year out, and I will just put in a disclaimer in, which is, this is a very volatile situation. It's very fast moving. I believe overnight, the Ukraine was under a barrage of lots and lots of missiles, at least 100, electricity's out. So they, stepped up the war once again. And this information could change. But right now, let's ask Russia right now how it feels about Odessa. How do you feel about Odessa? See, like right now, they do want Odessa. Right. They believe it is very important. But a year out, they don't see it as that important. So I wonder why there's such a big change there.
No idea.
What I'm getting is we got what we wanted.
Right. Okay. All right. Right, now we need to drop Odessa, but we need to keep hold of Russia. But now we need to put Russia out. I want you to take them out. Let's try 20 years, please.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is going to be a very broad overview. So 20 years is going to be 2043. So let's go December 29th, 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Now, the first thing that came through was that people are starting to really like Russia again. They're starting to embrace Russia. They're starting to, portray themselves on the world stage once again as, excuse me, an ally, as a player. Is Putin still in charge? No. Is Putin dead? No, but he's not in charge.
When did Putin step down? Because there are elections in 2024 and people are saying that he probably will step down. I mean, he's legally entitled to go for one more, but some people are saying he won't bother.
When did Putin step down? Did he step down in the 20s? He may go for one more,
Oh,
He
okay.
may go for one more, and that could be the end.
Yeah, well, that would be his end. He wouldn't be able to be. He wouldn't be able to be president after that. He can only literally do one more.
I feel like around 2030, 2030, that's when he's gone.
Okay. All right. But the question I was actually going to ask you is, or I need to ask you is, has Russia as a nation been broken up?
Ooh, this is a good question. I don't know what you've been listening to lately, Mr. Shakespeare, but these are excellent questions. Has Russia as a nation been broken up? No, they've acquired more land.
Okay. All right. So
Is the economy very strong? It's gaining ground. Is it as strong as the USA? No, it's not as strong as the USA.
All right. You can drop Russia now and grab America, United States of America.
Okay.
And put them out 20 years, please.
Wow. Okay. This is a surprise to me today. 20 years. Okay. Let's go December 29th, 2043, Joe Biden is dead, by the way. That's the first thing that came through as I made a time movement. Joe Biden's dead. He died. 2020. Sorry, 20. Let me try this again. December 29th, 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same question. Has the United States broken up into, 2 or 3 different regions, or 4 regions, or 2, or is it still the United States of America?
Is the United States of America still?
In other words, has any of the states succeed?
Have any of the states succeeded? No. Have we gained any new territories? No. Have we lost any states? No, it's still the same.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Okay. You have to enlighten us. What is this all about?
One more. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Canada.
Mm-hmm. Can you grab Canada, please?
Okay.
Can you put Canada out 20 years, please?
December 29th, 2043, 2043. Ooh, it wanted to go to 2050. And I'm like, no.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why. Something in Canada, 2050. That'll have to be another probe for another day. 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
All right. Same question. did Canada break up into different sections or different provinces, or is it pretty much the same as it is in 2022?
Canada broke into different sections of provinces. No, but Canada, the pendulum has swung the other way. So whereas Canada is very progressive, very liberal, I feel like Canada is now very, conservative, very going towards right wing.
Right.
They're saying to me for business purposes.
Okay.
So it looks like it starts to go in like a massive decline around the end of the 20s going into 2030, and Canada has to drastically save itself.
Right. When did it get rid of Trudeau?
In the 20s.
Okay. There was one question I forgot to ask you on each one, so we just need to go. We can do this. We'll start with Canada. What is the population currently of Canada?
As in, is it more or less than in 20?
So is it more or so approximately now it's about 40 million. So is it more or less than 40 million?
Is the population less than 40 million? It's less. It's less. It's about, a few million less. It's in decline, the population.
Okay. Sorry, but we need to ask the same
question.
question.
So in the US,
yeah.
What is the current level in the US?
Yeah, the US is about 335 million.
God, okay. 335 million. What is the population currently in the US? Is it more or less than 335? It's more.
Well, a lot more.
I feel like it's about 350.
Okay.
Okay, that's significant. Why is that significant, Liz? Because Mr. Shakes, if you remember on a probe that we did, and you said what was the most valuable thing that people could own right now, looking into the future, it was land.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people think the US population is in a steady decline. As we have now done this probe today, that makes sense. If we're seeing numbers of 350 million, so that's another 15 million more than what there is today. And I can tell you, even in the country parts, it's starting to become a bit of a tight squeeze. Now, a lot of people, especially in Europe, will say, no, Liz, you're completely wrong. But, I can say hand on heart. And if we're going into 350 million of the population, then I can see why land is the most important investment now. That makes sense to me.
Okay. But you do realize, Liz, don't you, that the entire world's population could fit into Texas, don't you? You know that.
Okay, but it would be a tight squeeze.
It'd be a tight squeeze, but they could all get in. Okay, right. I need to ask you, sorry, I should have asked you about Russia's population. So
Russia's population, is that higher or lower? What's the current?
Yeah, so at the moment it's about 148 million. 148.
148 million. Do you have more higher or lower than? So Russia is higher. Now, there's a reason for that.
Is it higher? But yeah, but how many? Do we know how many by roughly?
Do you know how many roughly or higher? It's gone up quite considerably, so quite a few million.
200 million or 170?
No.
Or no.
No. No, maybe like between 150 and 160.
Okay, so 10, 12 million, yeah, all right.
They still have a lot of babies in Russia.
Right. Okay, and that's significant. You were about to say why that is.
Yeah, well, because they still have a lot of babies. Because I'm like, is it because of immigration? And it's no. I got to know on that.
Right. Well, no,
We
they're
do
not
the
doing.
UK.
They're not doing everything they can to try and, they're doing everything they can to have, have couples have children. They're not like a lot of in the West. They're doing everything they can to stop people having children.
Can we do the UK, please?
Sure.
So I'll go ahead and set it up while you're finding the UK population. So let me pull all those countries down. Let's throw the UK up there. December 29th, 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. What is the current population number of the UK? What is it? 60? 66?
No, it's more than that. It's over 60, isn't it? Hold on.
Have you gone?
Yeah, we're looking at somewhere around about about 69 million.
69 million?
Yeah.
That's gone up by 10 million since I left.
Right, but yeah, exactly. So,
Good grief. Okay. It's only a small place.
Exactly, but they seem to hand out money to everybody. That's why everybody goes there. So
okay. Is your population higher or lower than 16? Okay, the UK is up over 80 million.
wow.
That is huge. That is huge. That is significant. I mean,
It is.
That is crazy. Is it because it's because of mass immigration as well? That is, I'm really shocked by that answer. I am absolutely astonished. Let's ask this question. Can the average person in the UK afford to buy a house? No, it's impossible now. It's impossible. So how are people living? The government has to really heavily subsidize like a housing allowance just so people can live. Has the government taken over a lot of the properties again, bought up a lot of properties and made them council properties? Now, I feel that that has happened. I feel that the government has had no choice here but to start acquiring property again. You remember they had that massive sell-off. When was that massive sell-off? Was that in the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah, that was beginning of the 80s, about 82 or 3.
To raise money?
Well, it was Thatcher, under Thatcher's government, so she gave everybody, all the council tenants, the right to buy. You got a discount, basically. You weren't allowed to sell for 5 years, but the local authorities that received the money for the sale of the houses were not allowed to invest that money into more social housing.
Oh, well, aren't they in a pickle? Because as we're getting into the 2030s, there's no housing.
Right. Well, if we're going up by the same amount of population as the US, but the US land mass is many, 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 many times the size of the UK. So, if we're both putting in 15 million, I mean, where's all the Brits going to go? I mean, America can absorb 15 million. They can.
I know, but you have to have jobs for all these people.
Right. And yeah.
If you remember, the probe that we did on Generation Z and Generation Alpha was that jobs are going to be in decline.
Yeah.
So whereas we have a lot of jobs now, and people here certainly don't want to work for, especially Generation Z. They don't want to work for minimum wage, right? see these kids working these jobs anymore. Certainly, like, you know, a couple generations ago, you would have young kids being the bag boys, being in the food supermarkets. Now it's all the old folks doing these jobs because they can't afford to retire. So this is a little retirement gig for them. They'll work in Starbucks because Starbucks is trendy. But, you know, it goes along the lines of, okay, the population is increasing, but computers are taking over a lot of the jobs.
Right.
So you have to be able to employ these people. Now, what I see in the UK is that employment is way down.
So why has the UK successive governments allowed unbridled immigration from wherever in the world, you know, and there's no jobs? And I mean,
because they're still bound by all of these human rights laws. They do not withdraw the human rights laws, right? So I totally understand where this is coming from. And I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not xenophobic. Let's just make that very clear. But I do have a law degree and I did study law in the UK. Okay. I was going to be a barrister. I did a lot of immigration law. And I did a lot at the time when the UK was part of the EU. And this is going back some years, but we had to do human rights, human rights, human rights. Everything was human rights, okay? The government had unfettered access to a massive pot of money labeled human rights legal fees. So certainly when I was in law school, people were jumping on the bandwagon to access that pot of money. It was like free money, right? Free money. You just, as long as you represent, and I believe people should have representation, as long as you represent, I mean, you're paid out of this human rights pot. The problem is those laws are not, you know, taken back. They're not getting rid of. They're not changed. They're not modified to accommodate the present day situation. So you have this massive influx of people that still have rights to all of this, you know, all of these laws. And they use it to the fullest extent. Now, when we look at the UK population, what percentage is male to female? And I feel there's a larger percentage of males to females in the population.
Yeah.
So
well, all the migrants that pretty much all the migrants that are coming through now through on the boats and everything are all male.
Oh, right. Okay. So that would make sense. Yeah. So what does this mean for the future? Well, it means if you own property in the UK, or you're a property investor and you want to invest in the UK, it looks like property is going to be the hottest commodity, the hottest thing you can own. Just like land is going to be the hottest thing you can own in the US, right? So that's pretty significant. Yeah. You didn't know we were going to end up uncovering this today, did you?
I did not. No, I did not. But like
you never know.
But like all these probes, and they morph out into other things. It's super good. So, okay, I'm gonna have to ask you the same questions about Germany.
Okay, Germany.
So let's drop the UK and put Germany out 20 years, please.
Okay, so December 29th. Have you ever been to any German Christmas markets? I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, they're very good.
Are they fun? Are they nice?
Huge. Yeah, they're good.
Oh, are they? I've always wanted to go. I figured you've probably been. December 29th, 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right. The first question has to be, has Germany as a nation, you know, as a landmass, as a nation, broken up into different areas or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Very cohesive.
Okay, and the population of Germany currently in 2043 or whatever it is. At the moment, it's about 80 something million, about 80 million, I think.
Okay. Is it higher? So Germany actually starts to see a decline. Not by
Oh, it's about
much.
84 million at the moment. Sorry, 84.
Oh, 84? Is it higher or lower than 84 million? So it's about the same. It's a
Right.
slight decline, but it's still around in the 80s.
Okay.
I just feel like Germany is going to go through the ringer.
Yep.
I feel like Germany has had a lot of economic problems.
Yep.
I feel like they're trying to dissuade people from having children.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also feel like they put the brakes on the immigration.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. All right.
France
Okay.
certainly has not. France is still doing what the UK is doing.
Okay.
Which is pointing everybody to the UK. I'm teasing.
Oh, that's exactly what they do.
Well, I remember when they had to go in, what was the name of that camp that was in Calais?
Yeah.
What did they call it? And they had to go in and they had to literally burn it to the ground because there was so much squalor and disease there. It was unsafe to leave it, to try and clean it out as it was. And of course, now they have a lot of uprisings, and France is in economic.
Well, can we put France out 20 years, please?
Yes, let's do that. Let's go. December 29th, 2043, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just said to it, have you won another World Cup from 2022 to 2043? And I got to know.
Okay. All right. Okay. So has France as a nation state, a landmass, has that been broken up into different regions or anything? Or?
No.
No, I didn't think that. Okay, and the population the population of France currently in 2043. So at the moment it's about, what are we thinking about? 67. I'm thinking it's about 68 million.
68 million? Is it higher or lower? It's a lot higher.
Okay.
And that's due to immigration.
Of course, yeah. All right. Right. Okay. It's all good.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. And this should go, this should help you making decisions with regards to, the future. Which places do you think are going to be crowded? Well, in the UK, I feel like the immigration, usually hits the big cities first, but then it starts to spread out a bit more. But again, it looks like the increase in population, you definitely can't go wrong with property, can you?
No, probably not in the UK. On the longer term, like, 20-year timeline, yeah, you're probably right.
No, I say you can't go wrong with property. Of course, you can always get bad tenants. You can, have building issues and things like that. But right, in the long term, if something that you can afford to hold on to, land or property, it looks like it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Right. Okay. That's it.
Great. Well, this was fascinating, and we never know where we're going to go. So
this one, actually, I might plan this one out for early next year, and we'll do a slightly more involved version of this to include more countries and things like that. But yeah, these were the most prescient ones for now.
Great. Well, thank you very much. This was great. Thank you.